Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about 40 Acres. Directed by R.T. Thorne, this film will release on July 2nd, 2025. 40 Acres takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where food is a scarcity because 98% of fauna have been wiped out by a fungus. I'm pulling that 98% out of my memory, so I could be wrong, but the point is, all the animals are dead. Before diving in any further, I do want to say this review may contain the occasional spoiler, but I'll do my very best to avoid them. That said, let's dive in a little deeper. The narrative follows the Freeman family. They are a Black and Native American family of Canadian farmers protecting their homestead against robbers and cannibals. The heads of the family are ex-Marine Haley and her husband Galen. They run a tight shift around the farm. They're basically militaristic Amish farmers. They have a huge farm, barn, electric fences, ATV, a bunker, guns galore, and a ton more. With all these resources, it's a shame the family is small and has a zero trust policy with strangers. The eldest child is Manny, followed by Rain, Dennis, and Cookie. There were things I loved about the family culture, and there were things I did not like about the family culture. I loved how tight-knit they were. Everybody looked out for each other, and I loved how they embodied their tradition and roots. Galen is Native American and speaks his language with the family so that when he grows old and gray, his children can keep the language alive. I like that and feel like I can relate with my family because growing up, I solely spoke Spanish at home. I also like that the homestead is a family farm descended from migrants of the American Civil War. There's a lot of historical context there to appreciate, however, this movie could have dug a little bit deeper into those roots. Something I didn't like about the family dynamic and culture is that they were forced to be so tight-knit because of Haley. She has severe trust issues with strangers and is adamant that anyone outside of the family will betray and kill them. She is so strict and militaristic with her family that they genuinely have no freedom. This sucks to see because there's a network of farms in the area that help each other out and Haley just ignores them and their pleas. Speaking of Haley, if I had a nickel for every time Danielle Deadwyler plays a bitchy mom, I would have 10 cents this year. It's not a lot, but it also kind of is. She is hands down the most unlikable character in this movie. I appreciated her concern for her family and wanting to keep them safe, but when you take safety to an extreme, it's not as beneficial as you would think. I mean, sure, your family is physically safe, but the isolation is starting to affect your children and make them question their futures. We weren't made to be alone. We were made to socialize with others and enjoy life together, even when there's risks involved. Anyways, Danielle Deadwyler does a great job. She protects her family well and runs them like her own little squadron. Michael Greyeyes played Galen and I thought he was fantastic. I think he was my favorite character. He's a strict dad, but he doesn't take things to the extreme like his wife. He likes to laugh and joke and smile and love on his kids. He's a great contrast to Haley's coldness. Kataem O'Connor plays Manny and he also does a good job. You can see and feel his longing for the outside world, and not just that, you feel bad for him. I was fully on his side, hoping he could enjoy the outside world and overcome any dangers thrown at him. He's a very kind guy, and I think O'Connor displayed that shy kindness well. The supporting cast of Lena Robinson, Jada LeBlanc, Haley Amari, and Mulsanea Diaz-Rojas as Rain, Dennis, Cookie, and the girl are all great. The Freeman girls make the family feel whole, playful, and loving. The other girl adds a layer of mystery and drama to the movie because you don't know if she's a farmer or if she's in with the cannibals attacking the nearby farms. Despite the risk of destabilizing the family, I like the chemistry between Diaz-Rojas and O'Connor. In terms of action, I think this movie does a solid job. There are several raids against the homestead, and I liked seeing the family work as a unit to take down intruders. Not just that, but individually, I liked seeing the family members fight. They've been training for years, and their training pays off. There is some gore in this movie, and I think it's used well. It makes things feel serious and adds to the stakes. Visually, I also like the way the homestead was captured. Whether it's the cornfield, rustic barn, bunker, or other external locations, I appreciated the wide-angle vistas. The landscape feels expansive with surrounding forests, but the film feels perfectly constrained. There's a sense of scope and direction that make following the narrative cohesive. I know the farmhouse is here, I know the cornfield's here, I know the barn's somewhere over here, I know the electric fence is here, and then the river is somewhere past that. I think some movies get lost in the sauce and make it hard to picture the world that you're watching. Thankfully, this isn't one of those movies. Another thing I want to mention is that I enjoyed the score and sound design. The score is subtle and I like that because it really complemented the organic field recordings. Leaves rustle like whispers, blood drips into puddles and reminds you of dangers lurking, flies buzz and hint at the grotesque, gunshots are loud and they feel heavy, knives and axes zing through the air. The sound design is solid all around. The final thing I want to mention is that this movie could have been about 10 minutes shorter. Running for an hour and 48 minutes, the runtime is pretty good, but I don't think enough of that runtime was used for world building or adding to the tension. There were some slow exposition moments that I don't think had a strong enough impact to warrant their inclusion. Again, I think if this movie had leaned a little more into the thriller aspect or even a horror aspect, I think the runtime would have been perfectly justified. All in all, 40 Acres is a strong post-apocalyptic thriller with a lot of heart and grit. It balances family drama, mystery, and action with impressive cohesion. Danielle Deadwyler delivers another powerful and cold performance, while Michael Greyeyes and Kataem O'Connor add depth and emotional balance to the story. The Freeman family feels real, their home feels lived in, and the stakes feel personal. The film's visual clarity, solid action, and great sound design make it easy to stay immersed. While I do think the movie could have shaved off about 10 minutes and leaned more into its thriller elements, I still walked away impressed. It's thoughtful, well acted, and memorable. If you have time on July 2nd, or if you like survival stories with a bite, I would recommend watching 40 Acres. Thank you for listening to my review of 40 Acres. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.